How does a team with elite talent on defense, solid weapons on offense, and years of rebuilding still look this bad on game day? Because in Cleveland, the problem isn't just the quarterback, it's way bigger than that. This past weekend, the Browns didn't just suffer another embarrassing blowout, they exposed something deeper. A coaching staff that refuses to adjust, a quarterback who looks lost, and a fan base that's officially out of patience. And at the center of it all, Kevin Stefanski's bizarre commitment to Dylan Gabriel, a decision that now has everyone asking the same question. What in the world is going on with the Browns? Because when your quarterback can't move the chains, can't stretch the field, and can't stop handing the ball to the other team, there's only one thing left to do. And for some reason, the Browns just won't do it. Let's break down what just happened and why this might be the decision that costs Kevin Stefanski everything. It wasn't just a loss. It was a slow-motion train wreck broadcast on national television, and it told every football fan in America exactly what's wrong in Cleveland. Cleveland didn't just lose to the New England Patriots. They got humiliated. Again, final score? 32-13. But what the scoreboard doesn't show is how obvious and avoidable this collapse really was. From the first snap, it was clear. The Browns weren't just being outplayed. They were being outcoached, outplanned, and outright embarrassed by a Patriots team that, frankly, isn't even that good this year. This wasn't some hard-fought battle that slipped away in the fourth quarter. This was a controlled demolition, Cleveland's offense looking like it had no identity, no urgency, and absolutely no clue how to move the ball. And at the center of it all, Dylan Gabriel, the starter who continues to make Browns fans wonder if Kevin Stefanski is even watching the same games as the rest of us. And sure, losing sucks. It always does in the NFL. But what happened in this game wasn't just another step back, it was the turning point. The moment that made everyone say aloud what we've all been thinking. Why is Shadur Sanders still on the bench? Because after weeks of disappointment, this game didn't just spark criticism, it ignited a full-blown QB controversy that's now impossible to ignore. Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. And if you think we're exaggerating, wait until you hear the numbers. Because Dylan Gabriel didn't just play poorly, he put up a stat line that would have most quarterbacks instantly benched. Let's talk facts. Dylan Gabriel completed 21 of 35 passes. That's a 60% completion rate. Not awful, right? Wrong. In today's NFL, 60% is the bare minimum for backup quarterbacks. Meanwhile, league averages hover around 65 to 67%, and elite passers are routinely pushing over 70%. But even that stat barely scratches the surface of just how bad this performance was. Gabriel threw for a grand total of 156 yards. That's not just underwhelming, it's flat out unacceptable in 2025's pass-heavy NFL. Let that sink in. 4 quarters of football. 156 yards. That's less than 4 yards per attempt. And for context, that's the kind of stat you'd expect from a panicked rookie thrown into a playoff game for the first time, not from a hand-picked starter with a full week of prep. And this wasn't a generational New England defense either. This isn't the 2000 Ravens or the 2013 Seahawks. This was a middle-of-the-road Patriots unit that's already been exposed multiple times this season. Gabriel had every opportunity to look competent. He didn't. He looked like a guy in over his head. And for Browns fans watching, it felt less like growing pains and more like déjà vu. And unfortunately, the numbers weren't even the lowest point of the night. Because what happened after is where things really fell apart. 2 touchdowns on the stat sheet might sound decent until you see when they came. Because padding your stats while you're getting blown out isn't leadership, it's an illusion. And Gabriel's performance? It was all smoke and mirrors. Now, if you just skimmed the box score the next morning, you might have thought, well, hey, at least Gabriel threw 2 touchdowns. But let's get one thing straight. Those touchdowns meant absolutely nothing. They came late deep into the fourth quarter when New England had already slammed the door shut, sent in the backups, and was content to let Cleveland burn clock. That's not clutch. That's cosmetic cleanup. It's what coaches call garbage time, and it's where stat sheets go to lie. Defenders weren't pressing receivers. There was no pass rush. New England was sitting in soft zone coverage, just keeping everything in front of them. Gabriel wasn't winning a shootout, he was dinking and dunking against disengaged defenders. And here's the real kicker. Those were his highlight plays. His best throws game-wide still came after the game had already been lost. There was no spark, no comeback, no momentum-shifting drive. Just empty yards like a band playing after the crowd has already left the stadium. So, when Stefanski points to the 2 touchdowns in his post-game presser, just know this. He's selling a version of the story that sounds way better than what actually happened. And fans? They're no longer buying it. But this goes beyond bad stats and ugly tape, because the real disaster here isn't Gabriel, it's the head coach who keeps handing him the keys. And what Kevin Stefanski's doing right now makes zero football sense. At this point, Dylan Gabriel's struggles aren't surprising. They're expected. What is surprising and, honestly, baffling is that head coach Kevin Stefanski keeps marching him out onto the field like nothing's wrong. Week after week, we've watched Gabriel stall drives, throw interceptions, and completely derail this offense. Yet somehow, nothing changes. Why? Why is Stefanski treating Gabriel like he's untouchable, like he's earned the benefit of the doubt, when he's given fans nothing but doubt to work with? This isn't just a questionable coaching decision anymore. It's full-blown favoritism, and it's holding the entire team hostage. Gabriel's been getting every first-team rep all season. He's the one getting all the coaching attention in practice. Every game plan is designed around his limitations. And yet, the results? They never change. Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders, the quarterback this fanbase actually believes in, has been locked on the bench, watching this train wreck unfold week after week. And it's not like Gabriel is a proven veteran with years of starting experience to justify this kind of loyalty. He's a project, plain and simple. High ceiling? Maybe, but right now the floor is bottomless and it keeps dragging this team down. What makes it worse is that Stefanski won't even acknowledge the issue. He shows up after every loss, stone-faced at the podium, and rattles off the same tired excuses. We need to execute better. We had some missed opportunities. We'll look at the film and make adjustments. But everyone has seen the film, and the only adjustment fans want is the one Stefanski refuses to make: bench Gabriel and start Shedeur. The loyalty doesn't just feel misguided, it feels personal. As if Stefanski is so invested in proving he made the right call with Gabriel, he'd rather sync with him than admit he was wrong. And that stubbornness is starting to wear thin not just with fans, but with players too. Receivers are frustrated. The defense is exhausted from carrying the team. And on social media, Browns Nation is melting down. Whether it's hashtags like number Stefanski out or side-by-side highlights comparing Gabriel's checkdowns to Shadour's college bombs, the frustration is boiling over. This isn't about a quarterback competition. There isn't one. The gap is too obvious, and the coach's refusal to acknowledge it is becoming the real disaster. Because at a certain point, the problem stops being the player and becomes the person who won't stop playing him. Browns fans aren't just asking for a change, they're demanding it. And sitting quietly behind all this chaos is a QB with the talent, the swagger, and the leadership this team desperately needs. Every week, Dylan Gabriel steps on the field. Browns fans see the same story. No arm strength, no downfield threat, no spark. But what makes the frustration almost unbearable is knowing exactly who's standing on the sidelines. Shadur Sanders. A quarterback with elite intangibles, real NFL arm talent, and the kind of poise under pressure that Gabriel hasn't shown once this season. He isn't just a fan favorite because of his name or popularity. He's the obvious solution to a problem the entire league can see, except, apparently, Kevin Stefanski. Let's be clear. No one's pretending Shedeur is going to step in and instantly light the league on fire. He's still a rookie, still developing, still learning the speed of the pro game. But guess what? That's exactly why he should be playing right now. The only way young quarterbacks get better is by gaining reps, real reps rhythm with the first-team offense, experience against live defenses, and time under NFL speed. Every game Gabriel starts is a lost week for Shadeur's development. And worse, it's a missed opportunity to see what this offense could look like unlocked. Because the truth is, Shedeur brings something to the table this team hasn't had all year: danger. Defenses wouldn't be able to sit on short routes every play. Safeties would have to respect the deep ball. Corners couldn't just jam up receivers and wait for checkdowns. With Shedeur under center, this offense could finally stretch the field and breathe again. He's got the tools. A quicker release. More velocity on his throws. Better pocket presence. And most importantly, confidence. Not the fake bravado kind. Real command. Presence. The kind of leadership that elevates a huddle, not deflates it. Just look at his college tape, it's not just highlight reels. We're talking discipline under pressure, precision in tight windows, and the composure to bounce back after mistakes. Right now, fans would kill to see even half of that energy injected into this stagnant offense. And every single week Stefanski delays this move, the contrast becomes sharper, the outrage gets louder, and the calls for change get stronger. Shadur Sanders doesn't just deserve a chance because of hype, he deserves it because the guy in front of him has done nothing to justify keeping the job. And when Shedeur finally gets his shot, it won't just be obvious, it'll be undeniable. At some point, this stops being about just one position. It's not just a quarterback issue anymore. It's a locker room issue, a culture issue, and a leadership problem, and the longer Dylan Gabriel keeps starting, the clearer the ripple effect becomes. Just look at the body language. Receivers jogging back to the huddle without even turning around to look for the ball. Tight ends visibly shaking their heads at checkdowns thrown 3 yards behind the line on 3rd and 8. Running backs throwing subtle glances toward the sideline like they know the system isn't built to win. And then there's the defense. A top 10 unit that's been playing out of its mind, keeping Cleveland in games they have no business competing in, only to watch those efforts evaporate every time the offense sputters out on a 3-and-out. You can tell it's eating guys like Myles Garrett alive. He's breaking double teams every snap, changing games on his own, while his offense gives him 13 points to work with if he's lucky. And here's where it gets dangerous. The longer the offense continues to stall with Gabriel, the more you risk losing the locker room entirely. Because these are grown men, veterans, competitors. They know what's happening. They can see the difference between a quarterback developing and a quarterback drowning. And when coaches keep preaching accountability, but refuse to make the most obvious accountability-based decision available, you lose respect fast. Guys start checking out, not because they don't care, but because they stop believing their effort matters. And when professional athletes stop believing they can win, everything goes downhill fast. That frustration isn't staying hidden either. Fans have seen it. The media's talking about it. NFL insiders can feel it through thinly veiled post-game quotes. The only thing keeping the whole locker room from boiling over? The one thing that everyone knows needs to happen? Start Shadur Sanders. Even if he's raw, even if he makes rookie mistakes. Because at least he brings potential. At least he brings energy, possibility, forward progress. Right now, Gabriel brings none of that. And if Stefanski keeps letting this continue, he's not just steering into a lost season, he's risking the complete collapse of a team that should be competing, not crumbling. This situation has officially broken out of Cleveland. It's not just a local storyline anymore, it's a national punchline. Every week, Dylan Gabriel starts. The Browns don't just lose, they go viral. Memes flood Twitter before the fourth quarter even starts. Clips of Gabriel missing wide-open receivers get looped with circus music on TikTok. And Kevin Stefanski's post-game pressers? Yeah. Those have basically become comedy gold. You've got fans creating mashups, comparing Gabriel's checkdowns to Shadur Sanders' deep balls from college, not to analyze, not to educate, but to straight up mock this coaching staff. And if you think that sort of digital backlash doesn't matter, think again. It absolutely does, because in today's NFL, perception isn't just noise, it's momentum. Players see it, agents feel it, ownership definitely hears it. And right now, the entire football world is watching Cleveland and saying the same thing. What on earth are they doing? Broadcasters aren't holding back anymore either. Color commentators are openly questioning Stefanski's judgment during live games, wondering how long this farce can go on. Former players turned analysts? Blasting the stubborn loyalty week after week on ESPN and FS1? You've got hashtags trending like #start Shedeur, #Stefanski exposed, and even worse ones that we can't say here without getting demonetized. This has become more than just a quarterback controversy. It's a full-blown culture war in Cleveland, and Stefanski is losing both the battle and the optics. What's most damaging, though, isn't just that people are talking about the Browns. It's how they're talking about them. This team is no longer seen as a gritty underdog or a struggling franchise with potential. They're seen as a stubborn, outdated organization led by a coach who won't admit he's wrong while literally everyone else is screaming the answer at him. When the public turns against you and, more importantly, when your own fan base starts clowning you, that's not just a bad look. That's a crack in the foundation. And the longer this goes on, the harder it becomes to correct. Because even after Stefanski finally, inevitably makes the quarterback switch, the damage to his credibility might already be done. That's the cost of turning your team into a trending topic for all the wrong reasons. The Browns don't just have a quarterback problem, they have a decision-making crisis. And no matter how Stefanski tries to spin it, ignore it, or delay it, time's up. Because what comes next isn't just about who starts on Sunday. It's about the future of this team, this season, and possibly Stefanski's entire coaching career. He has exactly two choices. Option 1, swallow his pride, make the switch, and finally hand the offense over to Shadur Sanders. Let the rookie take the reins, grow into the role, and maybe, just maybe, inject this team with the energy it's clearly been missing. Or, Option 2, keep riding with Dylan Gabriel, keep living in denial, and keep losing games exactly the same way. There is no third option anymore. No clever scheme. No magical halftime adjustment. This isn't a play-calling issue. It's not a receiver issue. It's not even just a Gabriel problem anymore. It's a leadership issue, and the longer Stefanski stalls, the harder it becomes to pull this team back together. And ownership? They're watching. Executives don't care about press conference spin, they care about wins. You don't assemble a roster this talented to sit at 2-6, making the same mistakes week after week. The worst part? The fix Shedeur is already in the building. That's what makes this so maddening. There's no trade needed, no free agent move, no blockbuster deal. Just a coach needing to do the one thing he refuses to do, admit he was wrong. And here's what's going to happen if he doesn't. The Browns will drop more winnable games. The locker room will split frustration, becoming open resentment. Fans will check out. Players will lose faith. And Stefanski's seat, already red hot, will ignite. Because you only get so many weeks in the NFL to claim you're building something. Eventually, people expect results. And right now, this team is going nowhere fast. With a better option literally standing on the sideline, it's no longer a wait-and-see situation. The evidence is in, the stats are brutal, the film is worse, the fan reactions speak volumes. And if Kevin Stefanski can't see it, then pretty soon it won't just be Gabriel losing his job. Shedur's time isn't coming later. It's not happening next season. It's not a developmental timeline. That time is right now. Because if the Browns don't make this change immediately, they won't just lose another game, they'll lose this entire season. At this point, the answer isn't complicated. Dylan Gabriel is not the guy. He's had every opportunity, every rep, every excuse, every chance, and he's done nothing with it. Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders sits waiting, ready to bring a spark to an offense that's completely out of fire. Kevin Stefanski can either make the move now while there's still time to salvage the season, or keep doubling down, keep losing games, and watch everything collapse under the weight of his own stubbornness. This isn't just about quarterback stats anymore. It's about direction, belief, trust, and the longer this continues, the more it becomes clear. Stefanski might not just be protecting Gabriel, he might be protecting himself. But eventually, that clock runs out. And when it does, fans, players, and everyone watching will remember who had the power to change things. And chose not to. Because Shadur Sanders' time, it isn't next year. It isn't soon. It's right now.